So, here's the question I want to ask today. Can you be a regular human being and play League of Legends at the exact same time? If you're unfamiliar with League, this question might not make a lot of sense. But if you do play, or if you have ever played League of Legends, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. League of Legends isn't the sort of game that an average everyday person plays just for fun for 90 minutes after they get off work, right after eating dinner, and right before bed. It's not an experience you can take up easily and then put down just as casually. If you want to play League of Legends normally, that means you have to commit. You need to be grinding out tons of matches, 10 games a day, 7 hours each night, in addition to studying champion abilities and builds and runes and masteries. You got to keep up to date with all the patches. You have to make sure that you understand any new champion releases, memorize everyone's abilities. And if you do all of that for like 2 years, then maybe you'll reach platinum or diamond, a halfway decent rating. That is a life that I used to live, and oh boy, it was beautiful. Throughout my teenage years, as well as most of my 20s, I did nothing but play League of Legends, and it was awesome. I'd wake up every morning and start grinding away. I'd be playing League, making some YouTube videos and doing live streams, but also just playing because it is a fun game. But sadly, I am not a teenager or 20-something anymore. I am now in my 30s. I'm a real person and I have real person responsibilities. You gotta clean the kitchen, you gotta do your taxes, you gotta make enough income to provide for everybody, and you don't have as much free time to fritter away on just grinding League. But recently I've been wondering, is it possible for a person to have the best of both worlds? What would happen if a person such as myself chose to spend the limited amount of time that they had playing League of Legends? Even if you're only getting in 4 or 5 games over the course of a weekend, could you still have fun? Our journey began on Saturday. We had 2 days in total, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe 5 hours of free time, so I set a goal to play 5 games of League of Legends, and I just wanted to have fun. Could I have a fun experience at all in this famously unfun game? My Saturday started off the way it normally did. I had to wake up and take care of the baby in the night, and then cook some breakfast, have a bit of a morning coffee, and slowly ease myself into the day, knocking out a few chores. But eventually, my first few hours of free time came up, and I decided to play some League of Legends. In game 1, I was feeling excited, I was feeling ready. I wanted this challenge to go well, so I started off by playing Aurelia. Aurelia is the champion I know most. She is the champion I can play best. She is relatively easy for me to have good experiences on, so I queued up a ranked match of Aurelia top lane. But then I ran into Vex. Vex is one of the newer champions in League of Legends, at least to me. I have never seen this character before. I don't know what their abilities are. I don't know how to play against them, and it immediately threw a pretty big obstacle in my path. Might be a bit irresponsible to go so aggressive so early on someone that... Oh, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Why am I playing League of Legends again? This is such a dumb idea. The whole thought process was I was trying to just poke a little bit, get a little damage going to see how much damage I dealt to her, how much she dealt to me, what I should be expecting out of this matchup, but it did not go the way that I had hoped. If there's one thing I remember from my days playing League of Legends nonstop, it's that I always got myself into trouble going for kills way too early, way too often, trying to force kills even when I was behind and couldn't actually go for any. So I'm gonna see if I can play a smarter game this time around, at least for today. Get one smart game in, the first one in my life maybe. Oh, come on! We actually had something going there and you abandoned me! Maybe he was right to do it, but that doesn't feel good. I could have got 2 kills, I think. Okay, there we go. That was pretty clean. I don't know if that was just 1v1, I might have even been able to kill the Vex, or whatever it's called. That's the name, right? Vex. Okay, I'm learning. Still 14 kills to 6. Our team's getting beat pretty terribly, so we're probably gonna lose the game anyway, but I'll take any win I can get. That was... How am I not getting any the kills for these? I feel like I'm setting these situations up pretty well for us. And nobody died on their team there? Okay, so I learned what happened. Apparently, one of the new boss monsters added to the map, like one of the abilities that they have is if a team kills them, then all of the teammates get the opportunity to just not die once, which seems really stupid and broken, and I hate it. Like, yeah, I think I still got 200 gold for each kill, which is fine. Maybe it's not actually overpowered or anything, but my KDA, it looks so much worse. What should have been a 2-3-3 finish to this game ended with me going 0-3-3, feeling much worse about myself than I probably should have. The game had been lost. I was pretty depressed. And I think I could say for certain that there was no fun to be found here. I could still squeeze in one more game before continuing with the rest of my Saturday though. So I decided to switch things up, add a little bit of variety. Here in game 2, I chose to play Jax top lane up against a Renekton, which is a matchup I am very familiar with. You would think that not a lot has changed with these champions, so I should be able to rely on previous knowledge and hopefully have a pretty good laning phase here. But then I don't know what I was thinking. I got way too aggressive at level 2. I thought that I could hit some sort of level 2 power spike and get a trade-off on Renekton, but he hit level 2 the same time I did, and it was just all downhill from there, man. I struggled so hard in this laning phase. Oh. Even though we eventually caught back up in CS and KDA, I made so many dumb mistakes over the course of this match that I was depressed by the end of it. There was no other word for the feeling I felt. It was depression. Then things got even worse when our Sion jungle started inting. The game was pretty much over by this point, but the Sion player on our team just decided to throw in the towel and run it down mid. He was just ulting down each lane and dying over and over to the enemy team, which is always frustrating to see. He then started bragging in chat that no matter how many people reported him, he would not be banned for soft inting, which made me so mad because you know it's true. And if I thought I was depressed before, I was livid at this point. I had just played 2 games. They were both awful. You could not scrounge up a positive emotion from my body if your life depended on it, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't queue up for another match. I had to go and do actual things at this point. I had to cook some food. I had to do some yard work. I actually had to do my taxes today, and taxes, they were 1,000,000 times more fun than either of these games. Not only that, but I actually got to do some very positive things, including spending time with my baby. I fed her a couple of bottles and then spent some time playing with her. It is amazing how much more fun spending time with my child is than playing League of Legends. And it was around this time I started asking myself, you know, why am I doing this? Should I scrap this video? Should I just stop playing League of Legends in general and quit League, become a lifestyle vlogger or something? I was questioning my whole career. It is amazing the dark places that League of Legends will take your mind. But eventually, after thinking about it for a while, I kind of realized I'm probably going about this challenge in the wrong way. I'm playing these matches, but I'm playing a familiar role and familiar champions, just kind of going through the motions and hoping that I luck into a positive game. I thought about it for a while and figured, if I really want to do this challenge right, then I need to treat myself like a person who is basically a new player, someone who is coming to League of Legends and doesn't know everything, who cannot rely on years of experience and has to do some studying, learn something new. So then I figured, let's go ahead and try to play a new champion. Let's play a new character top lane in our final 3 games and see if we can have a positive experience with them. Even if I hadn't played League in years, I have been watching the esports scene quite a bit, and one thing that has caught my attention is one of the new champions, Gwen. Gwen seems like someone who is entirely up my alley. She is a melee character, she's DPS, she's magic damage, which I'm not very familiar with, and she's not super tanky, but even her name, G-Wen, G-Bay, I mean, come on. So in an attempt to salvage this video, I decided that's what we're gonna do. Let's see if we can get a win on Gwen in any one of our final 3 games, and more importantly, see if we can have any kind of fun. But learning a champion is no easy task. You can't just jump in right away, and I didn't have much more time to do anything on my Saturday. I eventually went to bed, woke up early Sunday morning because the hours of around 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. are when I'm on duty to take care of the baby when she wakes up in the middle of the night and needs to be fed. So in between feeding her, giving her a few bottles, and putting her back down to sleep, I went to the computer room and sat down to start studying, learning everything I could about this new character. I was watching YouTube videos, I was reading guides, I even opened up MobaFire for the first time in years, and what a nostalgia trip that was. And honestly, this was really fun. This was more fun than either of the previous 2 games, and more fun than I've had playing League in a long time. That process of learning a new champion, getting excited about them, reading their abilities, and coming up with build and mastery ideas, that is what League of Legends is all about. The planning and studying and practice is just as much a part of the game as the actual gameplay is. If it doesn't feel like work, then you're kind of not playing League of Legends right, at least in my opinion. That excitement carried me through the rest of my morning chores, but then later that Sunday, I got the opportunity to hop in to game number 3. Oh boy, I'm feeling really nervous right now. This is the first time that I am first timing a champion in over half a decade. Okay, that's a good start though. Okay, wasted the ghost, but we still got the kill. Should I go top and push this in? I'm shocked that we're 1-0-1 right now with a CS lead, even if it's only 4 CS. Okay, okay. I'm first timing my champion. There's no way I'm actually doing anything good. Oh shit. Speaking of not being good, I immediately make a mistake. But yeah, I had shutdown gold there. I don't know, 59 CS to 44, 2-1-1? I'm doing better than I thought. Oh, I totally whiffed that, and I think I only got the kill because he whiffed it too, but still, solo kill! This is literally my first ever Gwen game, and I am recording it for all of the internet to laugh at me for every mistake that I'm sure I'm making. Okay, I shouldn't be chasing blind. Oh, I didn't press R! Oh, I didn't press R. I'm getting a little too cocky. I'm seeing how amazing I'm doing for how, I don't know, how new I am to Gwen, and I am getting too cocky. Oh, I was silenced forever and I wasted Ghost. Another kill, but going 1 for 1 like this is not something I should be doing, especially in a game that's this close, 14 kills to 12. I think the nerves of playing a new champion had me playing passive enough at first that I was actually making good decisions, and then once I started getting confidence, I immediately make all the old G-Bay mistakes. Uh-oh. Did I get someone? I did! Okay, okay. Okay! They got the Baron, but only one person lived. It was Blitzcrank, and we might be able to take an in-hit. And we kill him anyway. We get an ace. Are we gonna win? Just overextended for no reason. Well, even if I die, our teammates are going to get a quadra kill and an ace. And I think we're going to win that. Holy moly. Good game. Good game. Well played. Wow, we get a win with our first ever Gwen game. Game 3 went surprisingly well. We still had tons of mistakes and some really awful Gwen gameplay. I was not using my E to get the attack speed boost when I was split pushing, even though that would help me take down towers so much quicker. And I don't think I pulled off a single successful Gwen combo with her E and auto and Q and all that. But regardless, we managed to get a win. We won our first ever Gwen game. For a little while, I thought about being a bit of a liar and saying, hey, let's pretend like this challenge was only 3 games and we get to end with a win. But that felt a little wrong to me. I wanted to be honest and play out the full 5 matches to see what we could do. So it was on to game number 4. Oh. Oh, I could have killed him there. Ugh. And I waste both summoners. Okay, game 4 was off to maybe the worst start of any game I have ever played of League of Legends, period. That was a humiliating series of mistakes. I did not go aggressive for the kill that I should have obviously taken. I then overextended for a kill I was never gonna get and fell to the most obvious bait and gank in the universe. That sort of forced my hand. I couldn't be aggressive anymore for the rest of this laning phase at least. I had to slow things down, be a bit passive, and hope that I could come back from some sort of mistake the enemy team made. But thankfully, I think my rating was pretty low because the enemy team made plenty of mistakes. Okay, why are they ganking me? I'm the one person not doing well on this team. Please have mercy. Okay. Or don't, or feed me kills. Let me come back in this game. Oh my god. How am I the worst Gwen player in the world? Okay. I'm 3-3-1, and like in the grand scheme of things, I don't know, that's not too bad. I just feel like every good thing that has happened to me this game has been because I've had a good team who has carried thus far, and I don't think this can count as fun. Okay, that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. It looks like we are going to come away with the victory and get that win. 6-4-4 is our final score. 2 Gwen games, 2 Gwen wins. I have a 100% win rate on this champion. Honestly, it was pretty fun. Not playing League for half a decade has pretty clearly made me an obviously terrible player, but even so, I was managing to pull off enough wins, enough cool kills, that I was feeling pretty happy with myself at this point. Once again, I did have to get off the computer and go spend some time with family, knocking out a few more chores, and it turns out even if you're winning, it is still more fun spending time with your child than it is playing League of Legends. But I still had one more game to play. I had some free time later in that evening, right before I went to bed, and I figured, let's go ahead and knock out game number 5. If I could get just one more win, that would make for the perfect ending of this video. So we can catch up on some turret plating. Zero, 1, and 1. I've succeeded in not dying until now, but I don't know. We're not going to be able to carry this game. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. My luck finally ran out, my newness showed, and I didn't really know what to do as I AFK'd this game, and our team slowly got destroyed in a pretty clean sweep. So that makes our final record 2 wins and 3 losses over the course of this weekend, although we did manage to go 2-1 on Gwen. This weekend honestly reminded me how fun it is when you play League of Legends and you don't know everything, when you have to learn a new champion, figure out item builds, set up rune pages, and practice combos in the practice tool. I think I can honestly say that I did have fun and I took away a lot of positive experiences, but I also remembered how frustrating League of Legends can be. When you only have a couple of hours over the course of a weekend to play matches and one of those games gets ruined by a teammate who is flaming or your own horrible play, that really sucks. And that was the worst part of it all. The fact that I was not playing well tore me up inside. League can be such a frustrating game because even if you play super well, even if you win a game, you will make some sort of mistake and you will want to play again. You'll want to improve. You'll want to see if you can play another match and not make that same mistake, but you can't queue up for another match and get into that same situation until like 40 minutes later. Even when you do get into another game, you're making new mistakes, you're making different mistakes. There is always something that is going wrong with your play or your teammates that you will feel like you can improve and do better the next game if you just play one more. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't stop playing League of Legends at 5 games. I kept on playing over the course of the upcoming week, continuing to see, like, I want to see, can I get better? Can I fix some of these problems I'm obviously having? That led to me playing a lot more games that started with a pretty terrible Gwen losing streak. I also just straight up fed in a few matches where I got camped by junglers or where I disconnected. What's with the bug, by the way, where after champion select, the game doesn't load? I had a remake happen to me once because of that. And once again, it felt super frustrating because, hey, I only have a little bit of free time over the course of a day. Why am I wasting it doing this? But eventually I kept on playing. I played slightly better, managed to break the losing streak, and had a few positive experiences. I was having to make time in the day to play some of these matches because I was so motivated to try and fix everything that was going wrong that I was trying to find more free time to play League of Legends. Sometimes that led to a few healthy changes, like instead of looking at social media, I played a couple matches. Other times it was less healthy, like deciding to get 5 hours of sleep instead of 6 or 7 because I just had to keep on playing. And eventually I realized I just rebuilt everything that I had done before. I was playing League of Legends nonstop every day, just like I was when I was a teenager and 20-something. So to answer our question, I think the answer is no. You can't play League of Legends and be a real human being at the same time. Even if you are a real person, if you start playing League of Legends and if this game works for your brain, it will worm its way into your life. You'll be thinking about it nonstop. You'll be studying champion builds. You'll be setting up rune pages and doing everything you can to improve. It's just not the kind of game you can play 90 minutes in the evening to decompress before bed. If you play before bed, you're going to be up all through the night trying to become a better player. But I think at the end of the day, there is a positive message that you can take away from all that. Because in going through this experience, I learned I have a lot more free time than I realize. I thought I only had maybe 5 games that I could play over the course of a weekend and pretty much no matches over the course of the following week because I'm too busy. I have too many chores and obligations I have to take care of. But in playing League again, I learned that is not the case. If I really want to, I can make the time in the day to do something that's really important to me. And I don't know if League of Legends is important enough to me that I should be spending all day every day doing nothing but playing games, but there definitely are other things in life that are pretty important and deserve more of your time.